Greetings and blessings, everyone. I am Elder, representing the High Council of what you term the GodStar. We are part of a group of beings who have been here since the beginning of this project. We are the ones who put the call out for the star seeds to come. It has been aboard our ship, shall we say, where each one of you has come to prepare yourselves for inclusion in this project on Earth. It has become time to take things to a different level, to take things to a different place. I speak to every one of you, Starseed, now. There are so many of you from such a wide variety of places that it is important for you, each of you, to not only, and this is somewhat of a paradox, not only search deep within yourself for the truth that you carry, the truth that is part of who you are, without taking away from other people's truths, other starseeds' truths, because each one of you has your own truth. It is that diversity, that difference, which makes what you are here doing so powerful. You see, we show every day the diversity of the universe to a planet that is also filled with diversity. It is not a requirement that everyone believes the same. There are those starseeds who are convinced that in the next 10 years they will ascend into the fifth dimension without realizing that they aren't even here to ascend. But it doesn't matter, you see. It doesn't matter for the simple reason, even for those starseed who have their own agendas, shall we say, they are still doing what they've come to do, which is to bring forth the energy through them onto the planet. But now, what the purpose of this conversation today, and the purpose of Al Sharon coming in, the purpose of someone such as Milo coming in, and there will be others to come, I can assure you. The purpose is to get each of you to do something a little differently. We want you to focus on yourself. And when I say that, I am referring to discovering and finding that love of self within. Discovering within yourself your passion, what you are most passionate about doing in this life, and following that. We're not saying that if you discover your passion and you're not doing it within the next 2 days, you should throw your hands in the air and give up. You have been walking a path for a very long time. And for most of you, it will take some time to shift the mentality around that path to walk a different path. And there is nothing wrong with walking a different path. Now, I'm going to give you another piece of information here. When you look at the total population of this Earth, of this planet, only about 8 to 10% of the total of that population is what you would term starseed. And not all of those starseed are awakened. There are starseed who are living their lives just like anybody else. They're not thinking about spirituality. They're not thinking about God. They're not thinking about any of these things. But if you talk to them, if you sit with them for a while, you discover they are in truth very spiritual in their thinking, in their manner, in their way, in how they deal and operate with other people. There are those starseed who have great difficulty in being here because they have taken on so much to clear. You have to understand, you are the ascended masters on this planet. The other thing we wish to shift a little bit within the starseeds and the starseed community is also very interesting. It is this mentality that they are not good enough. They think that because we are in the fifth dimension, that somehow we are better than you. You're the ones incarnated on this planet. In the grand scheme of things, you are the ones doing the hard yards. You are doing the hard work. My job is easy compared to yours. We asked you to come here. We asked you to incarnate here. We asked you to forget who you are. We asked you to forget where you come from. We asked you to put aside your natural abilities to delve into the darkness of this world and to assist in raising the vibrational frequency back into a higher state of being. That is what you have been doing. And now we have asked you to awaken. Some of you are consumed by what is happening in your physical life in this moment. 6 months from now, will you even remember what was going on now? Think back to the last time you felt this way, and can you remember all the details of why you felt that way? Be in the moment. Now, part of our point today, and there's been some conjecture about whether I will take questions, but there has been a few of you out there listening right now who has asked if I would, and so I will, and I will get to that shortly. But now we are also here to share with you some things that is going on. There has been a concerted effort to prevent things from moving forward in the way that they have been moving. You see, there is an awakening happening upon this world, and it's more than just the starseed. There are certain members of humanity of Earth, what you would term the native humans, who have begun to stretch their consciousness further than they have before. This goes beyond simple intelligence. This goes to the very heart of why you are here. You see, this shows that what you have been doing, you are actually accomplishing what you are here to do. It is a process. We do not expect all of humanity to get there for some time. But now that it has begun, it will not stop. It cannot stop. But there is a concerted effort by several groups to try and prevent this from happening, because they have their own agendas. There are certain things that they can do, and there are things that they cannot do. And they are watched very, very diligently. There are those who have tried some new things. Things that, believe it or not, have taken us a little bit by surprise, that they would go to such length. But they have. And it made no real difference. Each of you are being asked to step into your own power and divinity. This one is a big proponent of discernment, and so am I. Where do you think he gets it from? But there are those who are working diligently to counteract what we are doing. So it is vitally important that you are conscious. And when I say this, I would recommend every day that you clear your energy. It's not a huge process, if you will. It's very simple. But how many of you are feeling heavy, as though the weight of the world is on your shoulders? How many of you feel confused? How many of you feel as though your life just isn't working the way you thought it should, or the way you think it should? There are many people out there who are very unconscious in their lives, and they see things in you and they say, wow, that's amazing. And so they want to tap into that, and they send cords. People say, oh, well, I don't believe in cords. Why not? Well, I don't see them. How do you feel? Well, I feel like I'm being drained. Well, where do you think that's going? But through a cord, perhaps, you see. So you cut your cords in any way you can. It can be as simple as calling Archangel Michael with his flaming blue sword to cut your cords, to invoke the violet transmuting flames of Saint Germain, to transmute anything within you that should not be there, and to literally invoke or activate the energies of Source to run through you, through the crown chakra, all the way through your body, sending everything into the earth. And now let me tell you something. You send it into the earth. If it is something that needs transmuting, the earth will transmute it. And then the earth will utilize that excess energy that you have released, and all that energy that you have released into her for her benefit moving forward. These are methods of taking care of yourself. You have to do that. You have to be willing to speak your truth, not in a nasty or mean way, but speak your truth from your heart. You have to be willing to follow your heart. You have to be willing to follow your passions. You have to be willing to follow your guidance. There's someone right now on an airplane, on a trip. And if you looked at it from a third dimensional perspective, it's the last thing they should do. But this person is following the guidance that they have received, that they need to do this, and it's about their path. And if you meet Spirit halfway, Spirit will provide for you. So this is a time of awakening, but it also continues to be a time of choice and of choosing. How are you going to choose to interact with each other? Seriously. How are you going to choose how you are going to be with each other? How are you going to embrace the sanctity and divinity that you are? I personally put the call out for each one of you to come to this world. Now, I will tell you something. I have never shared that. I have never said that here being channeled before. But it is the truth. And there are many, many councils that are involved with this world, involved with what is happening here. But at the end of the day, there has to be responsibility on some level. So, therefore, with that must also be words. Therefore, I am here. We are here. We are an entire council. It needs to come to a point where you finally make a decision that you're going to follow your path. How many of you are living a life right now because it is what somebody else thinks you should be doing? I'm not telling you to turn around within the very next moment and change everything, but start really determining within yourself that which is right for you. Because nobody ever said that you had to come here and be miserable. I have always encouraged people to come here and find your joy, which means finding your passion and following that. You will always have people who will judge you or criticize you. They are a dime a dozen. But the real trick is to be able to hear what they say and still walk your path anyway. Now is the time for you to step more fully into who you are. People are waiting for an event that has already occurred. People are waiting to ascend, which isn't on the cards for some time, because if you look at humanity of Earth, they are not ready to make that move as of yet. But an alteration, a change is happening. May not be the way you think, but it is something that is going to be powerful beyond words. This planet has begun a transformation, and it starts and ends in one place, in the heart of humanity. And sooner or later, each person will go through that shift, that change. Perhaps it is a situation where they can do it here, or perhaps they're going to have to leave and come back. Either way, it will happen. Do not worry about your destination. Do not worry about where you're headed. When the time comes for you to be finished here, I can assure you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you'll return home. And furthermore, I can also assure each starseed that is on this planet that there are those from your home here today. They do everything they can to connect with you, to support you, to provide you with energy. All you have to do is open yourself up to it. Stop trying to understand everything with the intellect, with the mind. Focus on what you feel. Focus on opening the heart more fully. You can always find a label for anything. But sometimes when you feel something, words simply do not do it justice. Now, one moment. Okay, what we are going to do is I'm going to do this activation. It will be done in light language. So I ask each of you to please go within your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. I am going to do this, and when I finish it, I will say, and so it is. And then we can take some questions. The time has come, and we begin. Toya maite, yalai torotomoit kai torotomoi, iaya moya neaya noyae, I to taya, ea to mi. O Tianaya Wadiakai Urutomoitete Yala 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 Protomoite La Protomoena Ya no Moratamake Yama no Mala Protomote Shniaka La Honorutomotesha Yama Tortohomotakai Tortomotote Yamato Protomote Shnea Protomaite. And so it is. Now, because we can, we allow you to ask your questions. Different ones will give their answers depending upon the question. Please feel free to write whatever question that you may have. Toshinake, I would like to know my next steps. I have a sick husband that needs my care. I am starting a new business. I'm stressing because I need some guidance. I want to help cancer patients but haven't had any clients yet. Do I wait until my husband is well or do I do both? Ceres, as many of you may already know, this one has issues with names. So he has given different names for different ones simply to identify and everything. I go by the name of John. I am part of the High Council of the GodStar myself, but my name is John and I will address your question. The problem that you have in the moment is you do not need to stretch yourself so thin. And that's what you're trying to do. What you need to do is take a step back. Focus on the important aspect which is in your reach, in front of you, meaning your husband. With regards to your business, what you need to do is instead of trying to reach out in multiple different directions and ways and everything while trying to deal with your husband and what he is going through, focus more on simply focusing on what steps you will need to take for your business. Begin to fine-tune different things. There are some things that are out of balance on what you are trying to create. If you focus on bringing those into balance, right, then you are able to, when the time comes, it'll be much easier to step forward. But the problem that you're having in the moment is you have someone in front of you that means a great deal to you. There is great love there. And he is very ill. And so it is important to focus there, to allow what needs to happen there. But in the same time, instead of trying to build a business, focus more on refining things for the business so that when the time comes, and you'll know when that happens, then you'll be able to step forward in a more sustained way. You also need to look at the clarity of what you wish to provide to those with cancer. And then there are those that you can reach out to, like cancer societies and stuff like that, with who you are and what you're going to provide. But you don't need to be so focused on that, because if that started taking off, you would have no time to focus on what is right there in front of you, which is what needs to be addressed in the moment. Does that make sense to you? Someone else can take care of your question, Judith. If you have a question, please feel free to type it in. One of us will be happy to answer your question for you. There are different ones. Oh, very good, very good. Um, Excellent, excellent. There are many names for many different ones. There have been those who have referred to us as the Elohim. Um, I believe more than not, though, that that word is more for those who are incarnated, who came up with that word, just like those who came up with the word starseed. I personally do not view individuals from other worlds as starseeds. They are simply individuals. But on this planet, labels are so vitally important. Whereas um, when you are speaking in light language or even in telepathy, you do not need to worry so much about labels. You're sharing something at such a deeper level. But there have been a few other groups that have been called Elohim as well. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we aren't really classified as Elohim per se. Hmm. Точно никогда не има така. Още не кратомати. Deanna, John again. Very, very. The situation is you're going through a loss, and what's going on in the moment is grieving, but also trying to figure out which direction to go. The best thing to do is focus on release and doing what you need to do for yourself now. Now, as you're doing this, you can multitask, if you will. So while you're doing this, you need to also focus or refocus, shall we say, on moving back into that area where you can go, who am I? But that can only be answered within your heart. So you have to look, okay, what is my passions? What are the things that I'm most interested in? What makes my heart sing? These types of things, and this is what you have to focus on. When you do that, and as you release things, and as you release them, excuse me, and as you release them, and the new is beginning to come in, and there's that shift that will occur, you will then find your path so that the things such as money, finances, things like that will happen. But at the same time, you do not want to rush things as far as relationships and stuff. You need to take your time. You need to focus on yourself right now. That's the most important thing. Yes, and Joanna, my name is Mukun. What will the dragon energy do for our awakening? The dragons are guardians. There are dragon guardians who are in human form. Generally, they know who they are. There is several dragon lords on this planet that direct dragon energy. There are a few sleeping dragons on the planet in very safe locations underground. They're basically directing and focusing energies. Their energy is basically to assist in clearing a way for Starseed to not only awaken, but also for humanity to take their steps of evolution. There will come a time, not, I would say probably in Earth linear time, I would say probably in about 150 to 170 years, that the remaining 3 dragons will be gone. They will not be needed here any longer, and they will be able to go home and do what they need to do. Gretchen, in regards to relationships, there are many starseed who are in relationship, who are married with those that we would term native humans. There is nothing wrong with that. There are reasons for everything. It is inconsequential whether you are in a relationship with a native human or a starseed, in all truth. The bottom line is that when you connect with somebody on that level, is that connection there? Is it true? Is it real? Do you feel it to the depths of your soul? Do they feel it to the depths of their soul? All of these things. One of the things that happens, and I will mention this because you have asked the question about relationships. There are times when you will meet someone, and in a previous incarnation, the two of you were married. You had a very good life together. There was great love between the two of you, and now all of a sudden you meet in this lifetime, and that attraction is there. You have deep feelings, one or the other, and the other person is like, that energy has been removed so that they can focus on finding the person they're meant to be with in this lifetime. Sometimes when that happens, things can happen that create hurt or problems, issues, things like this. And so it is very important to always be mindful of what you are feeling, being mindful of the interactions. There are times, it's, when you connect with somebody and there is that past life connection. And when you have that past life connection, that is a soulmate. And you have that, and you may have great love for somebody. And then you realize that together is not good. In those moments, it's very important to walk away, to move away. You do not wish to put yourself into a situation that is damaging to you or your path or your life. This is where discernment and really moving out of the headspace and really focusing on what resonates beyond everything else. Very, very important. Graham, excellent question. Excellent question. Greetings. If we as starseeds are all powerful in energy as ascended masters, how is it we have forgotten our heritage while in human form, but know in our night travels astral form? Why can't we get this back in our human consciousness. Graham, let me shift. Greetings and blessings, everyone. Miloth here. Graham, that is an excellent question. The funny thing is, we were talking about that just a couple of days ago, you and I. So let me answer your question. In order for the star seeds to, okay, back up a moment. We have on this planet what we term humanity of Earth. These are the native humans. Now, what makes a humanity of Earth? What makes a person part of humanity of Earth? This is an individual whose soul has only resided upon Earth. A starseed is someone whose soul came from somewhere else to Earth. Now we look around ourselves and we look around and we're like, well, we all look the same, meaning we're all human here. I manifested here as a human named Hal. Perhaps you've heard him tell the story, this one here. So, in order to achieve, the starseed needed to be here to assist humanity in their journey, in their travel. So in order to do this, they had to forget who they were, where they came from. So when they first, because you see, you first arrived as your fifth dimensional self. Okay? So your fifth dimensional self, you've got on your robes, your uniform, whatever it is you wear, you look however you look. And no, not all starseeds look like humans. That's fine. So you've arrived in that manner. You've come onto this ship, which this one calls the Blue Star, and you start going through your training, shall we say, to be a starseed on Earth. And Denaith, who some of you know from the Blue Star healing workshops, Denaith is the master healer. He created all of these different devices and crystals and pins and different things that was placed into the etheric body of the starseed who were incarnated here. They begin the process of descending their energy until they manifest themselves as third dimensional physical beings here. And as they do this, they actually, their physical bodies goes through a transformation from however they may look to what a human being here looks like. When that happens, then at a particular point, they will go through the death process physically here, and then almost immediately reincarnate. And each time this happens, each time they go through this death and rebirth, they forget a little bit more about who they are and where they came from, until it got to a point where they were born, and by the time they were 1 to 2 years of age, they had no memory. And it stayed this way for a very long time. There would be certain incarnations where particular starseeds would awaken. Some would awaken just a little bit. Others would be fully awakened for whatever they needed to do during that incarnation until now. And now we have starseed all over the planet who are awakening, who are remembering. They are only accessing very small parts within themselves. This is why they think they're here to evolve and ascend, when in fact it's humanity, and they're actually here to assist humanity in their evolution and ascension. So all of a sudden we get to a point. How many of you, and I already know the answer to this, but how many of you, you start awakening, you start remembering that you don't come from here? How many of you all of a sudden go, You know what? I'm really starting to feel homesick. Common occurrence, I tell you now. I cannot tell you the number of starseed that we have heard say, I am so homesick, I want to come home. I am so over being here, I don't want to come back here after this lifetime is over with. Hear it every day, over and over again. This is the downside to awakening, especially when you're talking about starseeds who have been asleep in linear time for thousands of years. But now you asked a very simple question. Why can't you bring the information of traveling up to the ships and stuff back into human consciousness? If you remembered all of that, if you remembered what your conversations were and what you did up there, all that would accomplish is you being even more homesick. And what happens when you're really, really homesick? You're not paying attention to your life. You're not paying attention to what is happening with you right then and there. So it is very, very vitally important that you are awakening and remembering who you are, but that you realize and know that you are here because you volunteered to be here, but you're here for something that is so much more than you can possibly realize or understand. Okay? And I can assure you, you are not the only one to complain about that. But that is the way it is. Tanya, struggling with trusting yourself, your gifts, and your intuition. The first thing you need to do, Tanya, is to release. You need to let go. You need to let go of the past. You need to let go from those people who have put you down, but you also need to let go of those past lives which no longer are relevant for you. You have stepped into you walked through a doorway not too long ago. You went through some healings that were profound. But there was also something else that occurred. There was a reconnection that occurred that you were unaware of and not privy to, shall we say. If you want more belief in self, what you do, what is the phrase? There is a phrase. I think it's really silly, but fake it till you make it. Which means even if you have doubt, do it anyway. I like this one better. This one has a Tereo Maori phrase that he loves. Facto. Tu fiti te hopo. Act in spite of fear. So even if you doubt yourself, do it anyway. Even if you doubt what you're feeling, go with it. Flow with it. Don't allow it to prevent you from moving forward. Don't allow it to prevent you from experiencing and exploring those areas in front of you. You have phenomenal ability and power within you, but you can only achieve that by believing in yourself, by tapping into the power that is within you. And the only way you can tap into the power that is within you is by opening that passageway within and saying, I love me. And no, that is not a selfish statement. How can you truly love another if you do not love yourself? It is time to take that step, but you have to do it through a commitment. And the commitment that I'm asking of you is very simple. The commitment is to you, to see yourself move forward, to believe in who you are. And like I said, the only way you can do that is by, even if you doubt yourself, to do something, do it anyway. Because as you do and you see that you can do it, that is where you will gain your confidence and your belief. It is simply in taking each step, one step at a time. Paula, I will love guidance with regards to men. I am wishing to know which relationship is for my life's purpose on Mother Earth. I am wishing to live my life's purpose, but I am stuck due to lack of money, debt, etc. Any guidance I am so grateful for. It actually seems like, first things first, if you read what you have written, Paula, you have written 3 different things which causes confusion. Because you want some guidance with regards to men. You're wanting to know about which relationship is for your life's purpose on earth. And although you're wishing to live your life's purpose, you don't feel that you can due to lack of money and debt, etc. Araha Nui. Love that word. So, Paula, first thing you need to do is you need to get clear within yourself. With regards to yourself, you need to focus on putting you right, getting to know you, figuring out what your passion is. Now, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice here. Everyone listen very carefully. You want to know what your life's purpose is. So, in other words, you want to know why you're on planet Earth. Why are you here in this incarnation at this time? Find your passion and you will know what your life's purpose is. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not here to give it to you. If we came in and gave you all the answers for all the things that is going on in your life, all that would be created is a dependency. We aren't interested in dependencies, especially from those of you who are masters. We expect you to meet Spirit halfway. So, in order to meet Spirit halfway, you need to embrace you. You need to understand you. You need to be able to go, this is who I am. And the only way you can do that is by doing the work to connect with you. Now, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form not to call upon your guides. You should call upon your guides. You can call upon us. You can call upon us to assist you in opening you up. But it takes patience. You have to be willing to do the work. It may take some time for you to discover these things. But the more you can release the old stuff, the more you focus on who you are, what makes you tick, these questions will all be answered. Now, I will give you one piece of advice with regards to the different things that you have said here. I happen to know for a fact that in these situations, many times there are more women than men who show up for these live channeling events and stuff. So because you asked for guidance with regards to men, find a man that you resonate with, that you feel a strong connection with, and who treats you correctly. That is my guidance with regards to that. Samaj Kart. I'm confused about family issues. Recently, my mother has stolen my nephews, and I'm in 2 minds whether I should fight for them and have them in a stable, loving environment. She's a narcissist and damaging children around her. Or should I walk away? What should I do? The bottom line is this. There came a time for this one when he walked away from family, and it was the right thing to do. But it is not something that another can tell you. There are karmic issues with regards to this situation that I can tell you. But in order to know which direction to go, you have to discern. The decision you make cannot be out of fear. It cannot be out of trepidation. It has to be from the heart, one way or another. There is universal law in non-interference. Many of you wonder, you look at us, you speak to us, and you go, why can't you do this for me? Why won't you do this for me? Why won't you do that? Why won't you do this? There is non-interference, you see. We can guide. We can give you information. We can encourage you. We can give you keys that will assist you as you walk forward on your path. But you, and you alone, are the only one that can make these choices. My advice to you is tread carefully, discern, and once you have made your decision, your choice from your heart, make sure it's all in. Don't turn around and doubt yourself, but whatever you choose, stay the course. Tui Milner. I just want to ask the guides if I can practice my healing at the moment. It is deep passion of mine, and I'm not sure if I'm being held back at the moment or my situation I'm in at the moment is not right for what I truly want to do. I think I have finished the life lesson I meant to learn. Not sure if I'm still in it. Take a breath. This is Elder again. You can practice your healing, but I would recommend that you begin by practicing your healing on you. You need to let go. You need to release. You've been involved in game playing. There's no judgment. There's no, you've been playing games or somebody else. You've been involved in game playing. You've been involved in dramas. It is important for you to let go and step aside from that. Focus on increasing your own vibrational frequency, your own energy, your own light, and start working with the healing on yourself. That is my suggestion to you. Judith, I believe there is an actual spirit of joy, and I wish to tap into this and share it. I am doing this through laughter yoga, and I'm breaking out of my shell, so to speak. Is the success of reaching far and wide already there quantumly? And is it just for me to step forth in trust and faith and keep sharing? And if I do, are there teams on the other side waiting to join this momentum if I become so free-flowing? There is a spirit of joy. It is within your own heart center. You are right now, the best advice that I would have for you, Judith, is very simple. Really focus on creating the real aspects of your laughter yoga, because it is actually very powerful. There is great potential there, step by step. Very important. You ask if it is there quantumly? Yes, it is. For there are certain individuals on the other side who are working with you on this because they wish to see this become standard, shall we say. There are so many who are doing certain practices, shall we say, but doing it in a very serious way. And so you have a lot of support in this. You simply need to refine and continue to utilize it with people and find what works, find what doesn't work, things like this. And as you do, there will be those who will assist you in moving forward with that. And yes, I knew that you meant breaking out of your shell. Janelle Davis, I love many aspects of my job. However, I feel like it's been extremely stressful lately. I feel like there might be more I can do, but mostly it's caused from situations that are out of my control. I'm wondering, should I go about things from another direction or find a new path? I feel like I'm missing something, and I've been seeking a higher purpose even though I don't know what that is. Janelle. There are many situations that are outside of our control. I will share a truth with all of you. I am in the fifth dimension. I am part of the High Council of the GodStar. I am actually, we work with councils, many different councils. We work with all of the starseed. We work with those from the worlds that the starseeds have come from. All of these things. And there are certain things outside of my control as well. Because you see, I cannot come down here and gather all the starseeds up, physically incarnated here on this planet, and say, would you please start doing things this way, this way, this way? I can't do that. I cannot change the fact that there are so many out there who are giving so many mixed messages and different information that is causing nothing but confusion. I wish I could. All we can do is provide truth. We are not here for particular starseeds who come from the Pleiades, the Sirians, Orion, Arcturians, or wherever. We are here for all starseeds because we work with all and for all starseeds. So I understand that. Jobs are only one aspect of your life. They can be stressful at times. Just because a job becomes stressful doesn't mean necessarily that you should leave or change your direction. However, what I would say is this. There are certain circumstances you have been dealing with at work. It would be a good idea to start looking at these situations differently. It will give you a different perspective and a different solution that will alleviate much of your stress and lighten things up for you. I would also suggest that you focus a little bit more on doing things outside of your job which lighten your energy. That would be most beneficial for you. Let me just see here. We know you weren't complaining, Graham. You know that gets you nowhere anyway. And hello, Dorothea. Gretchen, what is the best way to deal with our starseed children, especially if they remember where they are from? When my son Tyler was 2, said a lot he wanted to go home and got so upset. I didn't understand then why he was saying it. Now he is 4 and he is very sensitive, especially now. Am I best to encourage him to remember or just let it be? Each child is unique. When you go into the hospital, as an example, and you give birth to your child, the nurse comes and gives you your child and says, here's your new son, here's your new daughter. They do not give you the manual that says, this is the manual on how to raise this particular child. You have to trust your heart and guidance. But one thing that I would suggest, you do not tell your child that they are wrong if they are sharing their dreams or sharing their experiences or their imagination has been going. You encourage them to speak. You encourage them to share. You do not judge. You do not criticize. That is so vitally important. There have been many starseed who awakened early in their incarnation out of their choice, and either they were stopped by parents or they got scared and shut it down, and then later on in life these things are trying to open up again, and it becomes very tenuous at times. If he is very sensitive, it is very important to let him know that if he is picking up things from other people, it is not his. To just let it flow by, to not grab onto it or take it into himself. The more you can encourage them to speak and share in a non-intrusive way, the better, because this will encourage them, and also to encourage them to be grounded here as well, because the more they can be balanced between the earth plane and the spiritual plane, the better they can handle life in all its forms. And I can assure you that things are getting more and more stressful for the young of today. Te Taiawatia Kingi, are you able to connect with the blue people in our forest? I've been told I have a beautiful blue lady who is one of my guides. I know who you speak of, and all you need to do is connect yourself, because for me to connect does you no good. You need to connect through your heart. It may take time. Dorothea Thomas, is there any message for me? Love yourself. Annette Rose, love yourself more. Anjanette Hensley, the answer is yes. Well, Graham again through Debbie, because they are watching together. As you are coming from the fifth dimension, as Gaia is moving into the fifth dimension, as our consciousness is lifting, will we be merging more and more in the energies? Graham, I hate to inform you of this, but I want you to think about something very seriously. If the ascension into the fifth dimension for humanity, the humanity of Earth, is still a long way off, would you not assume that the moving of Gaia, of Mother Earth, into the fifth dimension would also be a far way off? You see, if Gaia moves into the fifth dimension and leaves all of humanity here, what happens to them? This is where you have this situation where someone says soon, and you assume that they mean soon in third dimensional time. Planet Earth is not going anywhere for quite some time. I can tell you now, if you look at Venus, and then if you looked at Venus fifth dimensionally, you would find a very, very, very different planet that is in the fifth dimension compared to that which is in the third dimension. But Gaia is not going into the fifth dimension at this time, and your consciousness is already as a master. So you are simply remembering more of who you are. Margot, I am basically a happy person. I know my purpose and I'm very happy with this. It is my only way to remember and be awakened through loving myself, believing in myself, and connecting myself to myself. Yes. Kai-Ying Lee, asking, am I a star seed too? Yes, you are. So, we wish to thank you tremendously for the opportunity to have come here and share this information and share this activation with all of you. We are very blessed and thankful for everything that you are doing. We are here to support you in all ways. Trust in your heart, trust in who you are, because I can assure you we have tremendous trust and faith in each one of you. Many blessings to all of you, and we shall see you on the other side.